to support the peace camp and confront the spoilers, we need to set the record straight. People has to know what's going on. The war is not only spilling over on the ground in Gaza and Lebanon. It is escalating online. The battle of narrative that polarizes between Israelis and Palestinians is spreading around the world, fueling incitement to violence, disseminating supremacist discourse, anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, at the end, dehumanization. And these toxic messages find a fertile ground because tragically, the algorithm of hate has become much more profitable than the algorithm of peace. And you know how does it work. You know how the messages are being fabricated and disseminated. And the algorithm of the artificial intelligence that selects the messages that you are going to receive is more powerful because it's more profitable than the algorithm that selects the messages of peace. And then we have a Netanyahu government claiming that the information emerging from Gaza is unreliable. It's unreliable. Well, this same government has enforced the longest media blackout in the history of press freedom. You cannot say at the same time that the information is not reliable and at the same time to forbid any kind of free information. We are facing the longest media blackout in the history of press freedom, imposed by a democratic country. Media outlets are banned from entering Gaza to independently verify the content of both sides and the devastating impact of the war on civilians. Local journalists, previously threatened by Hamas, are now killed by Israeli bombs. And the 6th, 8th of October, 130 Palestinian journalists have been killed. Journalists. Making Gaza the deadliest place in the world for media workers. I'm coming from Jordan and I have several meetings with the different United Nations organizations that have an idea what's going on there. That could come inside, that have people inside, and they receive information and they tell you what's going on. Netanyahu cannot turn off the light in Gaza and then complain that the world cannot see. You cannot turn off the light and then to complain that it is not possible to see. If you want to see, open the light and let people come in and witness what's happening. Freedom of the press is also under scrutiny within Israel itself. Journalists who criticize the war or its conduct are facing increased pressure. And in both sides, disinformation campaigns are shaping narrative of war and peace with fear and distrust. Some voices deny the unspeakable atrocities perpetrated by Hamas on the 7th of October. Yet the images and testimonies of these massacres are impossible to erase. Others deny the disproportionate use of force and the staggering number of civilian casualties caused by the Israeli bombardment in Gaza. But the harrowing images and testimonies of children, women and elders mutilated or trapped behind rubble are unbearable to watch. But they have to be seen. In Spanish we say, ojos que no ven, corazón que no siente. If your eyes don't see, your heart don't feel. In order to feel, you have to know. In order to have emotions, you have to have images. And the images are there, but they are not widespread at the same level in different parts of the world. Public opinions don't have the same access to images. And that's why the heart feels differently. And I want to pay tribute to the journalists, courageous journalists, human rights defenders, lawyers and doctors, both Israelis and Palestinians, who strive to document the truth to preserve it for future accountability. These are the people we must stand behind. And we must counter disinformation campaigns like the one who's going on targeting UNRWA, which jeopardize lives at a time when Palestinians in Gaza most need humanitarian aid. In this battle of narrative, yes, battle of narrative, fight for ideas, trying to conquer the mind of the people, let's champion truth and amplify the voices like yours that wants to make peace irreversible. But this is a very-day battle, not in the battlefield. It's in the TV screens, it's in the next social network, it's in every news, in every image, in every comment that flows through the networks and poison the mind of the people, impeding them to have a clear understanding of what's going on. It's not a story of good and bad. It's a tragic story, the most tragic events I've been able to see during my mandate, and I am afraid it will mark generations.